Hey guys, we're about to take a look at a website called Sleek Lens. Sleek Lens is an e-commerce website. Now I sat down with the SEO in charge with the website and we did an audit. And in this audit, I got permission to share with you some of the things we found, including some technical issues, some index bloat, and some topical relevance problems as well. Let's take a look.
So this is the client site, sleeklens.com. So from what I understand from you is that they've just simply been dropping over time. You're trying to figure out why. It's a huge website. You think that there could be a lot of liabilities on the table. There's a lot of pages on the site, and if they're not giving value, then they're potentially causing liabilities. How can we debug this? Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So let's open Ahrefs. And did you ever run like a site audit with either Ahrefs or Sitebulb or Screaming Frog or anything like that?
I'm doing all of those. Like usually I'm always like on top of that. I know like the audit is massive, but like first thing I saw, it's like there's a lot of pages, right? So I know there is like a crawl budget, and I'm pretty sure like no matter how big is the website, like 2,000 URLs, it's pretty intense.
Yeah. Well, okay, so Ahrefs crawl on your website, it's just going to take a long time. That's fine. And you're just going to want to make sure you got I forget what score, how they branded the score, but like a audit score of like 95% or above, and nothing big still left on the table. Nothing like ridiculous. So
this is a 8
yeah.
right now. Like the audit, like the score Ahrefs, 81 right now.
Okay, I mean, just so the thing with SEO debugging is you just want to eliminate variables as much as possible. So you're only looking at a finite handful of things that could potentially be an issue. So the unfortunate part about SEO, but what makes it great, because once you understand these things, it makes it like a lot easier and makes it hard to compete with you, is that there's like 200 variables. There's like 200 things that are going on all the time. So the best you can do to scratch each of these off the list is going to work in your favor, because if we can just get that Ahrefs Sitebulb, like site audit score to 100 or near 100, now I don't have 200 things to look at. I have 97 to look at. And then we keep whittling them down like that. And then that's how we come to a conclusion. So do yourself a favor and get working on those. What kind of things were left on the table still with the site audit? What kind of errors still exist?
What exists, it's like it says like in the Ahrefs that they have like 500 page, but like it's not true, because I checked that with them and it says like it's a bug in their Ahrefs stuff. HTML too large. I don't think like this is like the main thing. Meta description, like either like it's not like a lot. The main thing was page has no follow and do follow interlinks. Page has no follow income interlinks only. And then orphan page, that means that like those pages don't get anything from there, like any links, like the user is stuck, I guess. Sure. And what up, like really massive that I don't know. Otherwise, it's really like kind of small things. It's not even an error. It's just like, for example, like there's another page has links to redirect, I guess. Like that's the biggest thing.
I'd definitely clean up those, and I'd clean up the orphan pages. The pages getting no follow and do follow links, that just happens, especially externally. Yeah. Internally, that might be something weird. Like you meant at one point to not give it any link juice, and then you decided somewhere else. Like I wouldn't care if it's like external, it's going to happen all the time, but internal, that could be an issue. So take a look at those, but the big ones, orphan pages, and I already forgot the other one you just said. So let's go over and look at what's happened here with your traffic. So it looks like the brutality just happened in May or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But in actuality, let's expand this a little bit. In actuality, like things went amazing for it in the March update, and it's kind of just like getting dialed back, right? So
it's not basically a drop down. It's just like, okay, you went too crazy, and now like it's just like starting to stable.
Maybe like putting you in your lane, Well, if we look at what happened here, we had July 2008. I'm getting my timelines wrong. I'm not even remembering what was the July update, or was that July this year? I can't even remember. Anyways, July you got owned a little bit, and then it's like, okay, we reversed that in February, and then you went through the roof, and it's kind of like you've lost that. But so what kind of happens? So what I've seen this a few times is like when I get a major traffic boner like this, like a lot of the times is I get rewarded for a lot of keywords that I didn't really deserve. So I usually mostly operate with affiliate websites. So like I might start ranking for protein powder when all I did was write a page called for best protein powder, like a review page. And so what typically happens after a huge ranking list like this is that starts whittling away, and like where I stole keyword volume that I didn't deserve, it kind of like starts dropping away. So instead of ranking for best multivitamin, I was ranking for multivitamin. Then they start figuring, hey, you're not supposed to be there. And then they start pulling that away. But
That's interesting.
But yeah, I wouldn't say that's a reason for you to lose 50% of your traffic. But I would look at your keywords and see like, okay, what was it looking like for me in May? Like what kind of shit was I ranking for? And doing a triage and seeing, let's look at the rankings in May. I hopefully like took care of that and have access to that with your rank tracker. And then looking at the rankings for the keywords now and seeing, okay, what the fuck? Like what are the keywords that dropped? Is there any kind of thing in common? Are they all like informational type keywords, or are they all e-commerce type keywords? Like which ones took the hit? Because that's going to indicate where you need to start the debug. It could just mean like all of your informational type content, like how to clean a lens or something like that, just took a plunge, which just means most likely you need more topical relevance. I'll talk more about that in a second. So yeah, I can't help you with that because I don't have access to your rank tracker data, but that's one thing I would look at.
I don't have like I started like a month ago, and when I joined like this company, like they didn't have a rank tracker too, so I just started it.
Oh wow.
So
damn.
I have like a control right now, like I put like the keywords and I change like the titles, like optimize them, meta description and stuff, and we want to see like if it moves up and down, see like which way it goes.
Yeah.
So I have like half of the website like changing titles and half of the website I didn't change anything to see like what happened with those pages if I'm just leaving them there as it is.
Right.
I think I need to fix the CELO in this website because like it doesn't make sense for me.
Sure. But okay, so I still really I think it's imperative for you to try to triage and figure out what kind of keywords drop. Ask Ahrefs. I've never asked them this before, but maybe they have a snapshot of rankings in May, and then use Excel to just compare with rankings now and try to find that, because I think that's going to be a primary indicator. This is not like, except for maybe you got hit by this November update, it's not like you've like really gotten hit by an update. It wasn't like a slam down at any point in time. It's kind of just like a degradation. And when that happens, like it's usually diagnosable because you can just either see like my e-commerce keywords tanked. Well, your e-commerce keywords, it's hard to fuck up relevance on them. So most likely what it has to do with is site architecture or how you're shuffling around link juice or technical SEO problems or something like that. If it's your informational type stuff, it probably just means like let's imagine, let's look at your blog. Photography essays. Okay. So the perks of a photojournalism career in the 21st century. Like, let's say this was ranking for some shit, and then all of a sudden, like, you found out, like, a whole bunch of articles, like, where have you lost most of your traffic is both, like, these informational blog posts and stuff like that. So what that, excuse me, could mean is that, essentially, you might not have enough topical relevance for these topics. So, like, what is the topic of this post? Photojournalism careers or photojournalism salary and stuff like that, like basically a job as a photojournalist. Like that might be your only article on the site. And what I've seen them turn the volume up on, especially in like November updates and then I believe it was in June, is that they turned up the volume on, you can't just like write a single article about a specific topic and consider it ranking. You need to have more supporting content. If this weren't filmed, I would give you like a black and white representation of this but maybe I can show you after we turn off the video later. Okay. So, all right. And then, okay, November he tanked a little bit. So where do we want to go from here? I suspect, since this is a gigantic site, that we might have some indexing problems. So let's see here. Well, there's absolutely a lot of pages on this site.
Right?
Jesus. Well, on the good side of things, I haven't seen any, like, we have truncated your results because of this or that, you know, like, I think that's a good thing. Let's see, like, we could do in URL, like JPEG, see if you got any images indexed. No, that's fine. PNG, no, okay. Not in URL, HPS. Oh, come on. I just started today. You don't even know what's headed for you. Okay, so it's not like, it looks like your index management is like pretty good. You're not indexing anything stupid. There's no like images indexed and all that kind of stuff. But there's a lot of just pages indexed. So here's like theory type things. Like when you have a new page on a website, it's either an asset or a liability. And it's only an asset if it has search volume, if it can bring visitors to the site, or if it's like used as like sales or something, or, you know, like helps you convert and do stuff, something like that. But what makes me nervous is like a page like this, like I'm guessing it doesn't really have anything it's targeting. Let's see here.
Which one? I wish I could see that.
Oh, sorry, small. Yeah. This is
no, I don't see your screen. I'm just hearing you.
Oh shit. All right. Jesus.
Because I know exactly the website. Like I'm on it like every day, so I know exactly what you're talking about. I de-index like, pictures and stuff.
Okay, you should be able to see the screen now. That's funny. Okay, so let's go to organic search. Okay, you got like 0.6 visitors per day, shit like that. So there's no asset involved in it, and it's only just a liability. How's it a liability? Because these pages could be cannibalizing, causing cannibalization issues. They could be deemed as thin content. They could cause like anchor text over optimization, like a whole bunch of different things. So I never really agree with thinning websites, but in this case, I think it might be good to do an audit and see like, okay, which are the pages that have no traffic at all. And Ahrefs has got a solid blog post on just like how you can, it gives you like a decision tree on like, does it have traffic? Does it have links? Well, if it does have traffic and no links, then you should do this, that kind of stuff. And then I would get rid of some of these things. So there's like freaking 300, at least 500 pages of stuff like this. And they're spreading around link juice on your site, and they're potentially causing issues. Let's also check for, yeah, do you have any questions?
Yeah. So this is what was like my theory. Okay, they have like a lot of like product pages. Okay, so this is like they're selling something and they're indexed. I have to find one like to show you, but like I de-index a lot of like what you're seeing that has like no volume, but I de-index the one that has no volume at all, because I wanted to start with that and see like how the website will react.
Yeah.
And then like I will de-index like the one that you just like talked about.
Yeah, I would do that in mass. Like I wouldn't just peck away at it. I would do like a bunch. There's no way this is giving you any kind of value right here, especially because it's not keyword optimized. Like there's just no chance, and it's just causing potential issues. Let's poke around, because there's so many. Like one hypothesis I have is because there's so many pages on the site that are talking about the same things you're trying to sell, like photography. I'm sure there's like junk content about lenses, like how to clean a lens and stuff like that. I'm guaranteeing there's some cannibalization going on eCommerce can. And what I'm doing to kind of pick these out is like Google likes your website. There's no doubt about that. And Yeah, I'm recording this so I can just send you the video after too. Google likes your website. There's no way they would put you on page 1 and so high up in so many number 1 positions if they didn't like you. So let's go poke around and see if we can find any like pages like this that are on like page 3 or 4, because most likely there's like a cannibalization problem. Gift certificate template, you might not just rank for that simply because like it's not within your category, it's not within your niche. Just shooting for the heavens. Let's see this one.
What about, I want to send you like a type of post telling like if you think it needs to be indexed or not. That would be like helpful.
Yeah. Toss it over in the chat box.
A second. Okay. This type of product, they have like 307 euros.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so Christmas card template. What do they sell here? Well, like, what are they selling? They're selling.
So think about like there is designers and they build like a tool in Photoshop that like you put their picture and changing it like to something cooler, you know?
Yeah.
So people for that. So if you have like a wedding photos, you can buy this tool and do it like for your photo.
I mean, is there search volume for something like this? Let's check this out.
No, just tell me.
Christmas Carol card template. So let's just see. Just reverse engineering the person in the first place to see, is there any volume for this shit? No, so there's not any volume for it. So again, it's another liability. Like the way I look at e-commerce, like indexation and stuff like that, is just keep stuff indexed. Like obviously all the category pages and stuff like that. Like so, best Lightroom or Lightrooms for home photographers and stuff like that. All the camera names, like anything with volume. But if it doesn't have volume, then again it goes back to being a liability. And it seems like that's what the issue is. I mean, your authority is crazy. It doesn't make sense why they'd be not crushing it. An interesting thing too is I haven't seen this for a while, but you're ranking for, or you're attempting to rank for review type keywords along with the e-commerce site. I haven't seen it for a while. I thought I hadn't seen it for a while because Google didn't like it anymore, but seems like they're okay with it because I saw you in number 1 positions in some points. Yeah, go ahead.
A good camera review that position like in page 2 and has no backlinks, you know, and like massive volume search.
I mean, that's a trip. Well, it's obviously okay. I'd keep running with it, but okay, my keyword cannibalization hypothesis is not true. I'm not finding much at all, so that's good. That's not really what's holding you back. I would just say so far from a technical standpoint is just going in and getting your Ahrefs site audit pretty dope, and then definitely using also that Ahrefs blog post to like decide whether or not you should prune the pages. And it's going to depend on whether there's traffic, and that traffic's definitely going to depend on whether it's even optimized for anything with search volume. With a lot of this stuff absolutely isn't. And then just remove it from the index, or like, I mean, obviously you don't want to delete this because it probably makes some sales and stuff like that, but yeah, just remove it from the index. No follow,
Okay.
no index.
What about like no index that?
What's that?
What happens like if you do like no index to a page? Like Google won't see it, right?
Yeah. So they won't raise
But
crawl budget on it and all that kind of stuff.
So I wanna just like ask like a question like to clear my mind like in terms of not just this website in general, okay?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm doing like an index to a page that has no traffic but makes me sell, and I'm having like a blog post that have a volume, but I'm sending them to this post to make a sale, is that like fine, or like if I'm sending him to this page it needs to be indexed?
No, I mean, you can, the only thing that matters with the indexing is if you want to find it on Google, and you're never going to find this on Google because it's not optimized for any keywords. So you can send them internally. It doesn't matter if it's indexed or not. right?
True.
Yeah. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah. This is what I want to do. All right.
Okay, so your index bloat doesn't seem to be crazy. It's not like thinking you have a bunch of thin content, duplicate content, no cannibalization issues. You're not indexing HTTPS stuff. Like from a technical standpoint, what I can see from here, it looks okay, but let's get rid of all the like the pages that that don't want to be indexed, or no volume and stuff like that. Can we take a look at, for example, what's like one page that makes you a lot of money? Probably this Canon, this one right here, right?
You're talking about like an affiliate, that they're actually like the page that I showed you before. This type of cards make them like the most.
Really? That's a trip. Okay,
Yeah.
So one with search volume. Is it like, give me a keyword with search volume that's probably a good one to review for on-site SEO?
Just a second. Let me see one that's first.
Let's pick something that's like
I will give you one. I have
Okay.
here like I'm like, your time is important, man. It's like a dream for me.
Oh, no, come on. Thanks for contributing to charity, by the way. It really means a lot.
Oh, are you kidding me? I wanted to book 2 hours. Canon 70D review. They're like first place in that.
Okay,
The
yeah.
camera review.
Yeah, so can we pick a different one? Because I want to find something that's not in first place that I can find some improvements for.
Okay.
How about, can I just pick this Lightroom CC versus Lightroom Classic?
Sure. Yeah, that would be perfect.
Okay, so let's drop this guy into Surfer. You ever use Surfer SEO?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm following everything you say, man. Like,
Oh man, you're gonna make me not
Yeah.
post this just because I'm so embarrassed and like blushing.
No, I'm just like saying, like you're like my mentor. You know what I mean? Like everything I know, like I know from you.
That means a lot, man. Really appreciate that.
And I want to sign up for this. Like I actually saw like this. You have like this backlink course, right?
Mm.
Like that you have service that you pay like monthly, and you guys taking care of everything.
Mhm.
And I'm pretty sure like I want to do it like for this site for some pages, you know?
Yeah, it's a nice, easy way to kind of just like be hands off about it and let our guys take care of all the analysis and rolling out the links. It's getting a lot of good feedback on that. So, yeah.
Okay, I have another question before like you finish that. I have like your lab course, you know, like the one that you posted a long time ago,
Yeah.
and you talked there about like sandbox, right?
Yeah.
And you said like you do like something about like, oh, send links until it's you're out of the sandbox, and then if you're not, just like do it again. But for what pages?
So let me reiterate for people that are listening that might just be like, what? So basically, what we're doing in the sandbox phase is you're just trying to mimic, like really mimic what happens in the natural course of the internet to the finest degree. So in the natural internet, most of the time people are linking with new pages. So like new pages that never existed before. So that's why we're leveraging guest posts. So the first thing you do is you get all your social profiles, like your Facebook, your YouTube, all these kind of pages. Those are the first links to go to the site. And then you go get some business citations, because it's more legitimate to have a physical location for a business, even if it's an affiliate website. And then what I recommend doing is alternating a injection of social signals followed by a higher level burst of backlinks from guest posts, something on new pages, and going in fluxes like that, because that's how the real internet works. Something gets published, it gets shared on Facebook, and then people see it, and then people link to it, right? Rather than just always like a constant flood of like shit, like links coming like exactly 3 every 5 days or something like that. Like that doesn't make sense. So that's what we do in the sandbox. And your question was in particular about like, okay, which pages are these? It doesn't really matter. Like just send them, like if the protocol is to send like 3 per week or something like that, 1 to 3 per week, just send them anywhere, any page on the website. But you do need to balance and send a decent chunk of them to your homepage. because
got
that's
it.
how the internet works. Okay, so real quick, we only have a little bit of time, less than a minute, but I'll give you like the 80-20 of how I look at Surfer. So this page is in 9th position. Doesn't make sense to me because like Google loves your site. It's like it's all your other like review type keywords are doing really well. Let's check on your versus keywords. Oh, come on. My team is fighting me for this. Everyone's doing consultations right now. Oh, for fuck's sakes. No. Okay, so let's check like any versus keywords. Yeah, actually, all your versus keywords aren't doing too well. For some reason, Google thinks you're not qualified to talk about battles and stuff like that. What you might want to do is like interlink versus keywords to each other. Like if they're related, like if this Adobe Lightroom has anything to do with Canon or Nikon or something like that, I think you just need more topical relevance on this type of stuff. Like, so interlinking versus pages to each other. This is probably pretty standalone. I'd be interested to see like this page, how many internal links it has, or if it's just like kind of standing on its own. Let's see. So to this umbrellas versus softboxes key differences. See, it's got some links here from lighting tips, softbox, umbrellas versus softboxes. Oh, that's itself. It's got a lot of links. Let's see here, softbox, umbrella lines, umbrella. I'd send some internal links from other versus pages. Like consider at the bottom of your versus pages making a a extended reading or recommended reading, like having a little widget at the bottom that's like, you interested in more face-offs or more comparisons, like we've also reviewed umbrella versus softboxes, da 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 da. So then you get a bunch of relevance for like versus type comparisons. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so real quick with Surfer, the way I look at things is, first things first is I scroll down here and just look for like bonehead type stuff that might have happened, like 2H1s, 0H1s, slow load time, looks like you're loading pretty fast. I kind of ignore like bold words and all that kind of stuff, but then I go up here to words and paragraphs, and I would keep things the way they are. It looks like you're pretty solid. This Adobe is the black sheep, they're the weird one, but I think you're fine the way you are. Once you've calculated that your word count is good, then I'd go up here to true density and look here and see, like, first go to phrases and start optimizing anything over 50 relevance or above. So see, like, these are all very, very relevant keywords here, and here's 5 of them that you haven't used on the page at all. So like smart collections, Lightroom mobile, whereas your competitors are using it like at least 0 to 4 times. A lot of people have used it 0 times, but they're suggesting if you want to be in the average, at least use it once. And then after you optimize for phrases, you jump over to words, and then most of this should be cleaned up because you attack the phrases too. But they're just saying, given your word count, like you're just simply not talking about the word Lightroom enough, not talking about CC enough. And then the same thing, go down to like, I'd say like 70%. Like, you haven't used the word device at all. And then definitely do the remove stuff. Like if you over optimize, that's something you want to look at too. Then so yeah, like 70% or above, that should be good on this one. But yeah, with these kind of pages, I think it's mostly boiling down to not having enough topical relevance and then tuning up the true density type stuff.
Hey, good to know. That's helpful.
Cool. Okay, man. So these consultations are really short. We really couldn't get into like a lot of stuff I wanted to, but I really think it's a technical issue what you have. We can review the video to just take a look at what we talked about before. Thinning out the content, pruning content, getting technical audit up pretty good, and then I mean another way to look at it too, dude, is like you got, let's see. Okay, so you have like nearly 2,000 referring domains, and you have like, I would say 40% of your website is junk that will never rank. So imagine like you're using nearly 1,000 domains for ranking pages that don't work, right? Now, if you no index, no follow them, now all that juice stays on the pages that you want to rank, and I can definitely see this taking a turn in the other direction.
So wait a second. The last sentence was important. Like in terms of backlinks, let's say like a no index pages that has backlinks but no traffic. So
no, so you don't do that. So follow the Ahrefs blog post that gives you the flow chart on, I want to de-index this page. Does it have backlinks? Does it have traffic? There's a different protocol when it has backlinks. You'll 301 it, or like most of the time it's 301.